Today we will be looking at Robert Frost's Acquainted with the Night, published in 1928 in Frost's West Running Brook. This poem is written in terza rima, a three-line rhyming scheme first used by Italian poet Dante Alighieri in his Divine Comedy. Unlike many of his other poems, Acquainted with the Night takes place far away from nature in an urban environment and expresses the loneliness that Frost experienced as he struggled with depression, which is metaphorically represented as the night in the poem. In the first stanza, the connotation of the word acquainted in line 1 establishes the alienation of the speaker. The speaker possesses a certain indifference towards the night. It is an acquaintance. He knows of it, but not well enough to consider it a friend. The repetition of "in the rain" suggests that the speaker has trudged into the dark, rainy night many times, and further develops the desolate atmosphere surrounding the night. By having outwalked the furthest city light, the speaker ventures further into the darkness of his own mind, isolating himself from civilization and other people. In the next stanza, the continued use of absolutes emphasizes the depth of his isolation and sadness. He has not looked down a sad city lane, but the saddest. He has not outwalked a far city light, but the farthest. When the speaker comes into contact with the watchman, it is his first opportunity to establish a connection with other people. However, he refuses, timidly dropping his eyes and unwilling to explain why he is venturing into the night alone. Our perception of the speaker changes, for his alienation is not an action of discrimination on the behalf of society, but it is self-imposed. In the third stanza, it is assumed that the sound of feet is the sound of the speaker's own footsteps, but the omission of a personal pronoun communicates the speaker's sense of alienation even from his own body. The connotation of the uninterrupted cry that comes from far away portrays the widening distance between the speaker and humanity. The disappointment that the speaker expresses in stanza 4 after realizing the uninterrupted cry was not for him emphasizes the conflicting desire within the speaker to be alone yet reach out to another person. As he ventures further into the night, the only entity that accompanies him lies even further at an unearthly height, the moon. The metaphorical comparison of the moon to a clock signifies the passage of time, or the fact that the speaker has ventured into the night so many times that he can tell the time by looking at the position of the moon in the sky. The final two lines break from the terza rima structures, creating an abrupt end to the poem with a lack of closure. The fact that the moon proclaimed time was neither wrong nor right conveys the speaker's indifference to the passage of time and his sense of uneasiness. As the poem comes to a close, the sentence that the poem started with gains a new meaning that evokes images of the speaker trudging through the rain, of the desolate, melancholy streets, and of the intense loneliness that the speaker grapples with in the depths of his depression.